This channel is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken as legal advice. We are about to start our next section of the GSA forms as we cover the final process of Patrick Devine's great work that set himself free. We'll be covering the SF 1414 today in great detail. It is important to note that while I'm your guide in this course, I am not the originator of this information. The insights we will explore have been brought to light by many great gurus, including Patrick Devine. His tireless research and dedication led him to uncover a remedy for freeing oneself from the monetary system. After 9 years and over 5,560 documents, essays, and submissions to various governmental entities, Patrick Devine discovered the key to liberation in 2016. Then he disappeared and said, now it's up to you to set yourselves free. This live course with 100 students will cover the final process of Patrick Devine's great works, as well as information from others who helped him along the way. Let's begin. Okay, let's always start with updates of Creditor Academy. First off, thank you for all the people who have been corresponding with us for our business trust course and the board of directors. I'm super stoked. I'm so excited about that. The business trust people are already launched and doing great. They already got their businesses started. I'm already having meetings with you business trust people who signed up, and you guys are rocking and rolling, and you're seeing how simple it is. And now you're able to operate in the private, because when we get to this private banking step over here, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm already a pro because I started here. So that's going great. Board of directors. A lot of you have already started your board of directors. You already have my HR team getting you the staff for your board of directors, as well as the new businesses. A lot of business owners coming to us saying, hey, Mr. Rowland, I have never had international staff before, but you say great things about it. I'm trying to keep my business a little bit more organized. I would love to take advantage of having some really high educated individuals work for my company remotely if you have people, and we are staffing everybody. It is going great. I love it. It is, honestly, if you haven't worked with international people, they're smart, they're reliable, they're very budget friendly when it comes to your back office support and your costs, and they really get the job done great. I have done it for many years. The next thing to cover is the big picture. I cover this every single time we have a course or every time I start a class. And some people get it and some people don't. But whether you do or do not get it, I'm here to repeat it every single time I start a class. So then we are all on the same understanding. I want to make some edits to this, so I won't present that. Next time, I'm going to have like a little visual chart of how everything flows, so then you don't have to hear me talk about the vision 100 times. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you once it is again what this flow looks like. One, you're starting here, right? You're on the internet. You're doing all this learning. You've been trying to do process to get remedy for quite some time. You spent tens of thousands of dollars on different gurus. You did what they told you, which is to watch every video on their YouTube channel and to sign up for their website, get their latest book or something like that. The issue is that there are hundreds, if not more than 1,000 different processes when dealing with different entities for negotiating your contracts. And why is there 1,000 different processes? And why does it always feel like there's something more to learn? It's simple. It's because there's so many different variables to consider. I mean, everybody has a different contract, a different state jurisdiction. They've gone through foreclosures, or maybe they have debts in different areas. And because everything's so different, that's why people's remedies and how they apply their processes are so different as well. So you're here, you're like, oh my gosh, give me some order and some direction. I always bring people down to the business trust first. The business trust gets you used to operating in the private. If you've never operated in the private before, why try to operate your private bank first when you can mess a lot of things up with the Treasury Department and communication with government entities? Why go here when, if anything you mess up in your business trust, it's not going to ruin your life because it's a separate business entity? Get used to operating in the private, like so many of my students in my business trust course are now doing. And then what's the next step? It's doing the Patrick Devine final process. It's establishing a UCC contract trust. It's the structure of your private bank. I have that course available right now, the structure of your private bank, which is where everybody needs to start on Patrick Devine's final process. Why Patrick Devine got the 3 EINs and how he used them. A lot of you sit there and you're just like, I got the 3 EINs. Why aren't I rich? Why can't I discharge everything? You don't know how they work. It's just, why not rich? I got like 3 EINs. I hear that all the time. I'm ready to liquidate. How do I use them? So that's why we have that course. It's the structure of your private. Why not rich? Oh man. So that's the second part, the business trust.
And then, cracking up.
And then, yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. I hear it all the time though. And so then we go through the final process of Patrick Devine, and then we go to the final step, which is operating your board of directors and your private bank and all of that. And that's really the end goal here, because what happens when you establish a UCC contract trust, or you follow some other guru and you do an SPC process? What's our real end goal? I want to use negotiable debt instruments. I want to use all these. I want to use these GSA forms. I want to use a promissory note. I want to do an administrative process. I want to do a notary protest. I want to do process. There's endless processes. Now the question is, are you going to do those processes for the rest of your life? That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And what you need to do is you need to consider how you're going to keep yourself organized. And I have never ran a company without staff. It just makes your life easier. It makes the roadmap forward easy. And I mean, you need a team. You really do. And so it should be no different for your private bank. So you're here, business trust, establishing a UCC contract trust, and some other classes I'm going to have in there. Start with the structure of your private bank by emailing classes@creditoracademy.com. And then the private bank board of directors. Now, can you get started with your board of directors early? Absolutely. I suggest you get into a business trust and know how to operate in the private, but you can, get that started ahead of time. And I'm showing people how to do that. People are asking me, Mr. Rowland, I'm starting my board of directors group, but I don't even know what to tell these staff. I've never had attorneys for employees before, or administrative assistants or anything like that. What do I do? And that's why we have we have consultants. I started a new program called the Advisors. The Advisors group, since I started Creditor Academy, I was inundated with the amount of emails. The popularity of this channel grew quite significantly, but it grew 10 times more as soon as I mentioned staff. As soon as I mentioned staff and the international recruiting and staffing, I got so inundated by people that said, Mr. Rowland, I have gotten remedy and success after success after success, but I am exhausted with the amount of work it takes to do these processes. But now you're saying hire staff to do it. It just, a light bulb clicked and I had to reach out to you. These were the hand-picked individuals I put as part of the advisors. The advisors are professionals at particular processes, just particular ones. We interviewed them. I say, you got to show proof and show me your process. And all. I mean, most of it's kind of like, they get it. You can kind of hear what they're saying. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see how you did that and whatnot. Some things I learned. I mean, there's a lot of processes on how you can deal with something. So it does take some skill to do. But anyways, the advisors are there for the private bank. Okay. You have your employees, you have your board of directors. We bring in the advisors, and I pair you with an advisor that is closest to what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I'm trying to accomplish buying a house, discharging a debt, doing this, doing that, whatever. But the reason why they're advisors is because they are not your staff. Your staff have to do a deep dive. I have never, with all of my processes, and that anytime that I do them, I read all the contracts that I signed with the corporation or bank that I'm dealing with. I've set up a process to start, and then I do my compound processing, which means, okay, I started with this administrative process. Now I'm doing a promissory note, or I'm doing a negotiable instrument, or I'm doing a notary protest, or whatever I'm choosing to do, but I'm coming into it in sequential order. The advisors can't help you. The advisors can only advise your staff to make sure that they're coming close and following the structure and order to do the proper execution of your process. But in order for the advisors to advise properly, your staff reads your contracts and knows your situation intimately. So the communication between your staff, your legal team, and the advisors can now be productive, can now be fluent. And now it's a perfect marriage. It's like two lawyers talking to one another. They're like, oh, I did this, and this is her son. Oh, okay. And oh, you need to do this. Oh, yeah, that's true. And then, it's because they know your situation intimately. And that makes for a very productive conversation. So now you don't need an advisor for 40 hours a week. You only just need them for an hour to kind of touch up and see how things are going. The board of directors, the staff, and the advisors. A perfect marriage for policies and procedure development. Hope that makes sense. Anyways, off my soapbox, let's get into today's lesson. Open this up. Okay. Let's start with the SF forms, okay? The consent of surety. Give me one moment. Okay, coffee. We have this great place called Mercury Coffee in Seattle. Oh, the Seattle coffee is phenomenal. It's how I keep my body moving. Okay, the SF 1414. I'm going to show you the document here in a moment, but I want to go ahead and describe what this document is and how it relates to Patrick Devine. The SF stands for Standard Form, which is related to the GSA, the General Services Administration. The SF 1414 is titled Consent of the Surety, and is commonly used in the federal contracting. This form is typically employed in situations where the contractor is required to provide a surety bond to guarantee the performance of the contract. Patrick Devine married the two as the federal contractors, as the bank, the Department of Licensing, the mortgage company, and so on, as the contractors for these surety bonds that were signed using your signature through your straw man. The description of this form for the consent of the surety, to discuss its purpose, is used to give the consent of the surety to the contractor's actions that might affect the surety's obligation under the bond. So this might include changes to the contract terms, modifications to the scope of work, or alterations in the payment schedule. The form serves as a formal agreement from the surety to continue its bond coverage despite these changes. Let's go ahead and take now a look at what this form looks like, and we'll go through each section. Okay. Consent of surety. I zoom in. This is the form itself. And there's some key components here. There's the identification information. You'll see the contract number, contractor's name and address, the surety's name and address. There's the contract details, which is the description of the original contract, including the project name, the location, and the contract value. Then there's details of the specific modifications or changes being consented to by the surety. Then there's the surety's consent, which is a declaration that the surety consents to the changes or actions specified and agrees that these changes will not invalidate or diminish the bond coverage. And that's very important. The signature is then authorized the representative of the surety, including their name, title, and the date of the signature. Okay, so let's now go through this form a little bit more formally. So let me grab my notes here. Where did I? Oh. Okay, so the SF 1414, as it relates to the contract number, we went over this in the last class. Who can tell me what goes in the contract number section?
An identifying number, like your mortgage number, credit card number, etc.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Patrick Devine used it for his vehicle title. He used it for his certificate of live birth. Anything that the contract's reference is to it. And that's really what a mortgage title is just a number relating to the contract for the that was signed for the mortgage company. Okay. The modification number. Now, this is a numeric system for your own records. So you can choose any numeric system you like in order to keep track of your documents. So you can do 01 or 001, or you could just title it 1, but have a numeric system so then you can keep your records up to date. Next is the date itself, which will be the execution date of the consent of the surety, which is usually the date of, or today's date. Okay, now let's go into the name in principle section of it. Who is the principal of this document? Who is the principal? Anybody tell me. Was it?
Strawman.
No.
Individual
Is
banker.
the principal the banker?
It's the individual banker. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. So the principal is the secured party, is really what it is the secured party, the individual banker, because this is the principal that's over the surety or the corporate straw man. So the first section in section A is just the first, middle, last name of the secured party. And then in section D is the typed name, which is the first, middle, last name. And then the street address of the individual banker, which is related to the non-UCC address of the secured party. And then also the date of execution is the same date as dated in above. Now, who can tell me who the corporate principal is?
Straw man.
No.
Who you have the contract with.
No.
The United States.
No.
All caps name.
No.
Hmm.
Who is the principal?
Corporation? The corporation?
Who's the corporate principal?
Private bank.
The responsible party.
Individual banker.
Yeah, that's right. It's the private bank itself. It's the private bank itself. So that is, for example, Paul Michael Rowland Private Bank E&T, for example. Now, who is the typed name and the typed title?
The
Anybody know?
banker.
Title D, title E. No, wait.
The banker.
Also the banker, exactly. It is the title of the principal and the title of the corporate entity are both the individual banker. And the name is the same as the name as above. It's just in all caps because it's a corporate entity. And that's the delineation is, and I cover this in my course, the structure of your private bank, the difference between an individual banker and a individual banker of a private bank. There is a huge difference. The difference is simply this, is that an individual banker is someone who is sanctioned by the state or approved by the state to be able to do private banking. And for this on the state's behalf. An individual banker for a private bank is an individual for just that. They're an individual banker of a private bank. They're free from they're stateless. They not do a deal with the state to operate by the state jurisdiction. Okay.
They don't have a license with the state.
License with the state. That is correct. Absolutely. Okay, so what is the affixed seal? What is the affixed seal?
Would that be your thumbprint?
That's the thumbprint. Yep, that's what Patrick Devine did. He did the thumbprint as his affixed seal. Now, the next section, let me kind of scroll down here. The corporate individual surety. Now, in this section, you will see the corporate individual surety's name. Who is the corporate individual surety's name?
Straw man.
Yeah.
We have name of, who is it?
All caps?
It is the same. That was a trick question. The corporate principal and the corporate individual are the same. There's all cap, and it's being controlled by, who is the title? What's the title of the person that's in control of it?
Individual banker?
Yep. Exactly. So yes, the all caps, same as what? Oh, excuse me, I made that mistake. Excuse me. The above is the private bank or the corporate principal, and then yes, it's the straw man surety name. Absolutely. Wow, I really messed that up. My mistake, y'all. Wrong information. Wrong information. I stand corrected. The straw man's name here, and then the individual banker who is in charge of that corporate entity. And the typed name is the living name, first, middle, and last. First, middle, and last.
I have a question.
Go for it.
If you do have your first, middle, and last, but you only use your first and last name as the individual banker, is that a big difference?
No, you're overthinking it. Yeah, none of that matters. A lot of people said try to say, well, it's got to be written this way. It has to be that. As long as you're referring to the right individual, none of it matters. It's all about communication.
So is the straw man? Is the straw man?
It is the straw man is your surety. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Michael, if you only have two names, a first and last, then that's just going to apply across the board with all your paperwork.
Yeah, if you only have a first and last name, I wouldn't make up a middle name.
And then, yeah, I just wanted to be sure you can execute on that. And then I wasn't sure with your thumbprint if it matters if it's blue ink or red ink or what.
No, I've heard, I've seen everything. I've seen blue, red, this, that. It really, that I have yet to see any proof that somebody said, oh, I tried to do a process and I did it with red ink, but as soon as I switched it to blue, it worked right away. You know, now are the references to the importance of it? Yes, I've seen some people say, yeah, it's important because, and this is where we're referencing this or we're referencing that. But I've never seen a process be denied just because of a color.
Mm-hmm. Okie doke, thank you.
Okay, and
Hey, Paul Michael, quick question on that, brother.
yes, Roz, absolutely.
If you have your seals, meaning for your individual banker, your foreign grantor, your executor, instead of using your thumbprint, you could actually utilize those seals because, you know, those are actually, you know, enacted for that, you know, transaction.
Exactly correct. Exactly correct. You can definitely do that. And actually, one could argue is that if you really do adopt a seal, like through the tribes, you can maybe use that as well. Okay. Any other questions about this form?
Can we just do a recap of a individual banker?
Wow, you are so muted. I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
No. Yeah.
I just wanted to know if we could do a recap on the sections, just to make sure we got the right names on the sections.
Okay.
So A is individual banker. The principal is the individual banker, the secured party. What is that? And in section 5, letter A is the corporate principal, the private banker.
Yeah, that's private banking.
Oh, private banking. The individual banker for the private bank, or just the private bank?
The private bank.
Okay. And then in letter D is the individual banker as well.
Yes. You said E.
Letter D as in David.
I think
that would be the name of the private bank, of the owner of the private bank, which would be yourself. You're the corporate entity over the private bank.
Okay. Corporate entity. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Nope. All right. That concludes today's lesson. That's it. Nothing
No.
more.
No.
That's it.
Well, good
We
gracious,
don't
that
get
was
off
short.
that easy.
That was short. That's short,
Yeah,
sweet,
that-
to the point.
Great
So
job.
Okay.
we're just going to take this step by step and keep it simple, because if I try to overcomplicate the information, it kind of gets muddled and lost. And I don't want people watching hour-long videos every single time. I'm really trying to shorten my videos significantly. So I will open it up to answer questions. Let's start with Lovemore. Lovemore. All right.
There we
let's
go.
to-
There we
there we
go.
go.
Here I am. Sorry about that. I was pressing the raise hand and by mistake. Okay. Now I have to ask HR for back office support to form the BOD, correct?
Yes, for your employees. Absolutely. That would be HR@creditoracademy.com. We're creating also a form for people to fill out. Anybody from HR in here? Anybody from HR? Say hello.
Technically, yes. Hello.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. So note, form, Google form, HR email, first, middle, first, last name, email address, how many employees, list of positions, just the back office positions, or you know what? Let them fill them out. Let them specify the positions they want filled out. And that's pretty much it. We'll just keep it simple.
Okay. And also I need a team for my individual banker staff, so HR can take care of that also.
Oh yeah, HR is so great.
Okay.
I'm so excited about our HR because I'm here to tell you, y'all have never done international recruiting and staffing before. It will change your life on how you do business and how you're going to do your banking processes as well. I mean, think about it. Just think about it. For usually from $300 to $500 a month, you can get a full-time master's degree professional working for you for 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month. Are you kidding me? That's a deal. That's a deal of all deals. I have been doing it for years. I had 17 attorneys at one time doing a whole bunch of processes for paperwork, working with the state and all of that. And I'm here to tell you, they are geniuses when it comes to getting things done. And I cannot imagine doing business or even future banking without using internationals, especially with the economy that we have right now. You know, and what happened during COVID-19? The whole freaking world shut down, and guess what? Everybody got a job on the computer. If that doesn't prove to you that you can run an entire company off of a computer, I don't know what else is going to get it to you. And
now,
these international people speak English. They show up on time. I mean, I fully rely on that. I absolutely love it.
Now, as far as paying the staff, how would I do that? Does
We do
HR
the
explain
payroll
that?
for you. We do the payroll.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that wonderful? We'll find the client for you. We'll post the ad. We'll select it. We're going to select the bet. You select the country you want them from. We're going to find the closest individual to your specifications that you're looking for. We send them over to you, and we can take care of the payroll after that. Super sweet, simple, to the point.
Okay, so I email forms at HR@creditoracademy.com.
No. You email HR@creditoracademy.com. But I'm gonna, we're creating a form, and I'm gonna put it inside the chat. And I've been thinking about this for a while, but we're ready to pretty much launch. I was kind of like tweaking a few things, but we're pretty much set to go. We're pretty much set to go.
Okay, I need that link then. Yes.
Oh
thank
yeah, absolutely. If you own a business, this is why I have the business trust come first. You're operating
I
in the
got that
private.
too.
Now you got your staff, and I'm here to tell you, it will change your life when it comes to being able to have a full staff for your back office. How many of you are running a business right now, and you're like, I have so many hats that I wear, right? I do the onboarding for the employees. Oh, I'm the salesperson. Oh, I'm also the marketer. Oh, I better learn how to build a website. Makes no sense. Hire professionals to do it.
That's what I need, somebody to help me with the website.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you a professional website, but also I have a marketing services. Well, and piecemeal. I got a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, have someone do a website for you, work 20, 40 hours a week. That's what I have for my website right now, just to get it done fast. So great question on that.
Cost? How much
Was
does this cost? How much does this cost?
Everybody's different. Depends on the country, how many staff that you want, which payroll options that you want available. So we build everything custom, but I'm here to tell you, I can honestly tell you this, because I've been in the international recruiting and staffing game, and I know what the competitors are. There is not one single competitor that I have ever seen that can beat our pricing. There's not. I've seen what they do, because you know what they do? Here's what they do. You go to an international recruiting and staffing agency, and it's all about getting you to be on their platform. And for them to lease the employees out to you. So now you say, oh, I just want to hire someone for $400 a month. That $400 a month client with the international recruiting staffing agency, they do 3 times the price. So now you're like, okay, I'm still getting something with their master's degree, but wow, I thought it would be a lot cheaper though. But then they say, no, we find them, we do that. And so now they charge you 3 times the price every month for their salary, plus they charge you for the payroll, Oh, and guess what? They charge you for the platform too, $600 a month. And now you're so integrated with their platform. If you stop doing business with them, you lose the employee, you lose all your reporting records for your taxes, and they leave you high and dry.
I know someone who's doing it for $999 a year with all that's what you mentioned.
They're not. I'm here to tell you that I hear stuff all the time. Oh, I can do it for this. I can make up stuff too. I can, throw stuff out there and say I'm the best amazing person. No one's as organized as we are. No one's as organized. I'm here to tell you, people might have different prices and stuff. I mean, there's Joe Blows off the street, but you got to have a really high functioning system to do that. And that's why I partnered with the best HR staff to make that happen. They've ran hospitals and done the recruiting and staffing like I have. They've done the international market before. They're professionals at what they do. And that's really why I think this HR team is going to really take off. No doubt about it. All right, I got to go on to the next one, which is Marilyn. Marilyn.
You mean Marlon?
Okay. Marlon. Okay. D for Christ.
Yes, I got a question about the 1099As. If you could just, use the 1099As to discharge debt and use your mortgage account to pay for the discharge, then isn't that a lot easier process than becoming an individual banker?
Dude, that is banking. Those are banking forms. Those are banking processes. You are a banker.
You still have to be an individual banker. You still have to be an individual banker in order to do that process.
If you do any process in your whole life, you're a banker. You're banking. That is what this all is. It's all banking. That's the whole movement in itself, is business and banking.
Okay, so you would need the EINs in order to even do the 1099As.
Yeah, you need to do a lot. That's why I say the flow. You're here, do business trust. We go to establishing a UCC contract trust, and then you go into your banking with your board of directors and your employees. Now you could do 100 processes. Doesn't matter what process you choose. There are literally hundreds. That's how gurus make their money. Consult with me, I'll teach you a process. Consult with me, I'll teach you another process. Get another consult and I'll teach you another process. It's just this cyclic cycle of processes. That's why whether you ask me about any process, I'm just going to say, just get employees, man. Like you fill their day up constantly with so yeah. That makes sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have classes with professors still, or are y'all not doing that right now?
The professors?
Yes.
Oh, we have professors. Absolutely. We well, I partner with a large company just recently, and I now have 70 professors. So now they're all going to be on the platform. Each one of them has a different course that they're teaching, and the 70 professors speak between them all, I think 80 different languages. So we need to process this accordingly with the international people who are viewing us.
When does that begin?
Oh, I want it done yesterday. You trust me, you should be in my meetings, man, with my son. I'm like, why isn't this done? What is going on? Hurry up. I have like over 800 people who pre-registered for our website. By the way, if you go to our website right now, that is not our website. That's just what's on the front end. But you can create an account at creditoracademy.com. Create an account. We got your information. We can send you the updates and all that. I highly recommend you do that. But yeah, dude, I want it done freaking yesterday. But I want it to be perfect. I want it to be perfect. And I use the leadership principles from Amazon every single day to crack the whip to make sure everybody's in line. And they use the leadership principles as well. And if you take the structure of your private bank course, have you taken that yet?
Yes. The EIN, yes. The $50,
Yeah.
the $49.99, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So what I go through, the first thing I go through is the leadership principles, right?
Yep.
Yep. It's how you got to do it, man. And when you're doing these processes later with your employees, you got to keep them in line and focus, because you're going to be saying the same thing that I'm saying right now. I want to discharge my house. Why isn't that done yesterday?
Right.
Right. All right. So cool question, man. All right, Jason Carrier, let's go to you.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I had a quick question on the green card when you send in the UCC one. I sent it in, but I think I don't think they stamped it correctly. I was wondering if I could open up my camera and show you. It kind of looks like this.
No, let's not do sharing. Let's just talk high level.
High level?
Or book a consult.
Okay, book a consult. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's go to Marlon. Marlon. You're on mute, Marlon.
Hey, how you doing, Paul?
Hey, buddy.
What's up, man? Quick question. I was trying to get the info. I know you said to email class to Creditor Academy to get the information for your banker.
Yeah,
the structure.
Classes.
Okay. I'll get it started on that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to seeing you in there. Our classes is really great. I got to say, once you sign up for the class, you could take it unlimited times. You get the ebook. I do a whole presentation, a PowerPoint presentation. I answer everybody's questions. I let people know about updates. And, I'm here to create a visual flow so then you're familiar with what to expect when going through my program. My program, even though that I will have a remedy series, which is just showing a bunch of different processes. I don't want you to get hung up on my remedy series, though. Like, anybody can do a remedy series. don't get too lost on the remedy series, okay? But I just want you to think high level with me. My academy is teaching you how to be a boss. That's all it is. It's just setting you up so then you have your private bank and your employees. So now you can manage them, do processes, and what you got to do this for the next 30 years of your life. And if you've been in this movement for a while, how long, Marlon, how long have you been studying this process?
I've been studying so far, I say for like 3 months. I have my individual bank, my private bank EIN. I have my foreign grantor trust. I have my non-UCC. I have my transfer deed registered mail. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty like further into it.
Got you. So you've been studying for 3 months. How many people have been studying for 2 years or more? Anybody? Elle, let's go to you. Tell me. You've
13 here.
13? Tam.
8
Yes.
years. 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what? Yeah. And why? Let me ask you this. Let's start with Tam really quick, because since you're the highest at 13 years, just candidly, I don't mean to put you on the spot or anything like that, but why are you here?
Because I was exposed to Patrick Devine after I had been turned off by him. The first video I ever saw of his, he was cussing somebody out. And it kind of turned me off, even though I'm that kind of person. And so years later, someone introduced me to him again and said, you really need to take some time and look at this. And when I did, I thought, oh my gosh, this is all the stuff I just put in on the record at the county recorder's office when they illegally arrested me, And I thought, okay. And then he says, you need to check out this Paul Michael guy. And the minute I seen it, I just knew it's the way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah, I know. You've been in it 13 years. How many books, gurus, people you followed, YouTube channels have you been going to?
I've been all over the country to conferences. I've paid out all kinds of money. My cousins even bought me a Black's Law dictionary. I mean, the whole family got involved.
Those are expensive.
Oh.
Absolutely. How many of them told you you need employees?
No one ever mentioned that. I listen to you and I think hats. Like, how many hats can I wear?
Yeah. Exactly right. Exactly right. That's Patrick Devine's the only guru I've ever heard that actually said, these are the employee positions of your private bank. This is how they interwork with one another and communicate. And this is how we delegate processes using those employees. It's hard though, because it's American employees are expensive, and you're like, man, I'm running a full-time job, I'm doing this, I have a personal life, a family life, and I'm trying to do all these processes myself. I would love to get employees, but wow, a secretary nowadays, a secretary in America is $30,000-$40,000 salary a year just for a secretary, and it makes it hard to do these processes and get that well organized, dealing with that. Elle, let's go to you. I want to hear what you have to say. You said, how many years have you been doing this?
8 years, and then I ended up I had a heart attack, so it kind of set me back a little bit. But yes, I was on Patrick's calls. I've heard USFL. I've damn near heard just about all of them, just like you're saying. I first heard about it through Harvey Dent. He's the one who really started me off on this journey down the rabbit hole. So I have a lot of paperwork done, say like, for instance, hold harmless, security agreement, those type things. But
Forms, and more forms.
Yeah, but I never did the UCC because I've heard so much about it, people going to jail. So I kind of stayed back away from it until I found out exactly from you, listening to you. And I feel a little bit more comfortable in doing it now. But because it's supposed to be the non-UCC, and I've seen people do the UCC without doing the non-UCC, and that's the ones usually got themselves in a lot of trouble. So I'm just here. You know, I admire you the way you picked up from, you know, with Patrick Devine and trying to get it a little more organized. I admire you for taking the time with us and showing us exactly the process as far as, you know, steadily by weeks, you know, weeks ends and stuff like that. So I really appreciate you, and I plan on sticking with the group and with you because I like what you're teaching. And
Absolutely.
a lot of things I've learned, some people they lead you the wrong way, and then you get arrested, like I got arrested.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know, this is my first time in Texas, and here I go. You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm 71. Here I'm like,
There I go. Oh my gosh, a 71-year-old in a squad car. I was just trying to liquidate.
Yeah, and I had just had a heart attack. I just had heart surgery. So yeah, I've gone through it, sir, for real. I have gone through it.
I just want to liquidate some funds, man. You got me back in the squad car.
I changed my name, and you know they were saying, well, because I'm a Moorish American national, and I'm like, well, you can't do that. You have to put your, you know, in the courts and all this stuff.
That's wild.
Yeah,
That's wild.
I've gone through the ringer, for real.
Yeah. And
Yes, breeze.
yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
So yeah, a lot of us have been through this and for quite some time, and yeah, the frustration. I mean, 13 years, 8 years, 5 years, 2 years. I got remedy. I didn't get remedy. Did you get remedy? Let me follow you. Can we message? Can we talk? Can you figure out my stuff? Can I figure out your stuff? How are we all going to figure it out? And it's got to be, or you got to run this like a business. You got to run this like a business and get organized to that. And that's why I, coming into this space, I mean, I kind of had a different agenda when I first got started until we got to this point, but we'll make it there together as long as we all come together and have a space to where true communication can happen. And I really loved Patrick Devine in his ability to bring people together and have live calls where people can all talk and ask questions. And it's really translated well on our YouTube channel as well for all of your viewers that are on there. I'm going to stop this live stream now. Thank you all the people on YouTube for viewing us today. I look forward to seeing you all next week, Tuesday, for our live class. If you'd like to register for our live class, email creditoracademy@gmail.com. Only 100 students can make it to the class or are allowed in, so you might want to show up early. But I thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday.
Thank you, Paul.
I appreciate that, Paul.
Yeah. Okay. So we're stopped there. That looks good.